Welcome back to my channel, you guys. So today we are talking about the Baptist War of 1831 to 1832. The Baptist War was also known as the Christmas Rebellion. It was an 11-day rebellion that had 60,000 of Jamaica's 300,000 slaves. The slave rebellion was considered the largest rebellion in the British Caribbean. The name Christmas Rebellion came from the fact that the uprising began shortly after December 25th. The rebellion was planned by a slave named Samuel Sharpe. Samuel was born into slavery in the parish of St. James, Jamaica. Samuel became a well-known preacher and leader in the Baptist church. He was also a deacon at the Burchill Baptist Church in Montego Bay. Sharpe spent most of his time traveling to different parishes in Jamaica, educating enslaved people about Christianity, which he believed promised freedom. At the end of a regular prayer meeting in mid-December 1831, Samuel and a few selected group leaders stayed behind to discuss the plans for the revolt. They recalled examples of other revolts on other islands to encourage his followers. He then had them swear on the Bible to follow the plan he outlined. Jamaica, like most Caribbean islands, were overwhelmingly populated with black slaves. The enslaved outnumbered whites on the island, by far the largest British Caribbean colony, 12-1. They planned the revolt in 1831 because of an economic depression that affected some impoverished whites and made them allies to the rebels. Tensions were high because the abolition of slavery was being debated in the British Parliament, and Jamaican planters, disrupted at that prospect, made inflammatory speeches and wrote articles in the newspapers attacking emancipation. Their actions and attitude contributed to the agitating and discontent of the slaves. The Christmas Rebellion included a rebel military group known as the Black Regiment, led by a slave known only as Colonel Johnson. Slaves set fire to the Kensington estate in the hills above Montego Bay. Colonel William Skurgadon, and I'm going to leave his name on the screen because I think I said it wrong, of the Militia, was an attorney who ran several estates, including one at Salt Spring, where a series of incidents in December were sparked for the uprising. Colonel William led the Militia against the rebels in Belvedere Estate, but he was forced to retreat, leaving the rebels in command of the rural area in the parishes of St. James. On December 31st, martial law was established. The Jamaican Maroons were recruited to help suppress the rebellion in the second week of January. However, they were forced to withdraw as the rebels were strong in Catadupa. The Maroons did at some point gain the upper hand at a different location in a place called Skirmish. They killed one of Sharpe's deputies named Campbell. When the army regulars were besieged by the rebels at Maroontown, the Maroons relieved them, killing more rebels and capturing scores of them. When the Windward Maroons from Charlestown, Jamaica and Moortown answered the call, the rebels' cause was lost. The Eastern Maroons killed and captured a number of other rebels, including another leader called Gillespie. I'm gonna leave his name on the screen so you guys can see how to pronounce it. One of the last leaders of the rebels, Gardner, surrendered when he heard Charlestown Maroons had joined the fight against them. 500 enslaved Africans were killed, with 207 killed outright during the revolt. After the revolt, it was estimated that about 310 to 340 enslaved people were killed through various forms of judicial execution. Planters had suspected that many missionaries had encouraged the rebellion. Groups of white colonials destroyed chapels that housed black congregations. More than 100 properties had been set on fire, destroying over 40 sugar works and houses of nearly 100 planters. It was estimated that the rebellion caused over $100 billion of damage in today's money. As a result of the rebellion, hundreds of slaves ran away to Cockpit County to avoid being forced back into slavery. Later, the British Parliament passed the act abolishing slavery in 1833. So, you guys, this was a big one. This was one that I really enjoyed reading about. And I would like to say, long live the Baptist War. Long live Samuel Sharpe, and long live all of our ancestors that had to fight and were killed and executed for fighting for their freedom that they gained afterwards. And so with that, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so we can continue diving in deeper into our ancestors' history and their journey to greatness.